and we are now live. This is dznpodcast episode 21 with special guest, aka my boss, aka Suprbadd Sounds, aka Suprbadd Segways,
aka your favorite guy to call 5 minutes after you need something important done.
Yeah, and this is Mike, aka Soup, and he is my guest today because everybody else could not show up. So he's the owner of.
So I'm a last resort.
Basically, yeah.
I'll take that right now.
The owner of AMI Studios, where you can get some of the best recording sounds in Raleigh, North Carolina, and whatever else you need in music publishing, marketing. You can come here. All services.
Not some of the best. The absolute best.
As you know. There you go. All right. Let's get hit with this music.
You forgot one key thing. You forgot podcasters. So that's exactly what we're doing here.
Exactly.
So any podcasters, we got you at AMI. I'm doing good, man. I failed to work out this morning, so I'm feeling a little fat. Other than that, life is good.
So I got mine in last night, so I'm straight right now.
Yeah. See, when you get my age, man, you gotta stay regular. You can't be skipping days, or you're gonna be kicking yourself when you get back to it.
Routine, that's all it is. It's routine.
Consistency. That's what I found as being the key to making anything successful is consistency.
Yeah. Because if you don't do it every day, you won't get better.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Doing it every day, no matter what it is, it creates your, enhances your synaptic pathways. Makes sure you get better and better at doing something because your neurons, the way that your brain works, it sends those signals through those same pathways every day. It's like a highway. It's like a growing highway. So, if you're doing something on a regular routine, those highways get larger and larger every time you use them. Those electric signals going through those synapses in your brain and your muscles and your nerves and all of that. So, the more you do it, the better you get at it because those electric currents can flow quicker.
Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, deserves this.
There's a little bit of biology that I use.
And also,
is that a nugget button?
As the education button. That's what that is.
That's what's up. But yeah, man, you gotta the more you know, the better you can be.
And
you can understand how to make things happen for yourself.
Yeah. You know who made that beat, right?
Who was that beat?
I made that beat.
That's your beat?
Yeah.
I can dig it, man. That's real vibe-tastic.
Yeah. So, what you think about this Area 151 craze that's been going on lately in the world?
It's called what?
The Area 51. People
Area
trying
51?
to raid Area 51 for some reason. It was like a group that started online.
Yeah. I read about that. So my man who started it, he was like doing it as a joke. I guess he was trying to make the best of Craigslist or something. I don't know. But now people taking it serious. Yeah, I mean, I think that information shouldn't be no one person should be the sole proprietor of any information. I think that's I think that's I think that's killing the advancement of the whole. You know what I mean? I think that's stunning the advancement of the whole. I mean, if any information is available, it should be available to everybody, so that's, you know, the people who have potential to make the world a better place, or um, advance the human race, you know, have opportunity to do it. But when information is, you know, made undisclosable, or what's the word they use? Top secret. It's a word they use for that.
Classified.
Classified. Yeah. When information is classified, I mean, I feel like even just that word classified. You got to be a certain class to, you know, be able to have access to this information. That's stupid.
Yeah, but everybody can't know everything though.
Well, it's not that everybody can know everything. I mean, then you would be God. You'd be omnipresent if you did. But the people who want, or the people who would be able to be, you know, beneficiary, the people who would be able to, I can't think of the word I'm trying to use early, man. The people who could be useful with that information, by them not having access to that information, is stunting the growth of everybody. So I mean, you holding yourself back. You're holding everybody back by, you know, keeping. You never know who is that person that it could be some kid with, you know, autism, or, you know, some bum on the street who his only gift from God is that he might be a whiz at astrophysics, you know, but he don't know how to, you know, wash his clothes or wash himself or something. You know what I mean? You never know, like, what somebody's gift is, and by you know, stunting that information, keeping it unavailable, I think is, you know,
Well,
idiotic.
is it their job to give the information to people who may need to find and learn, or is that kind of the parents' job of kind of leading them in, or attempting to lead them in that direction anyway?
You saying, is it the person's, like, when you say their job, who are you referring to?
Like the government, like they're not supposed to. They may not want to really advance the human race. That's why they're quote unquote keeping the top secret classified information. So it may be like we don't want to inform the people because they're not gonna know what to do with it, or we don't want them to really be successful because we're trying to destroy the world. So
Yeah, that's the problem we deal with. You know, we don't. It's hard to say what the intentions are of the government, because, and it's a shame, man, because we put all these people in their positions. We voted them in to where most of the people who have, you know, the say so whether or not something should be disclosed or not, we put them in that spot to say, hey, you control everything. in this you know, you control everything in this category. We voted them in.
well, the people who did vote voted them in. Yeah.
People who did vote, and the people who didn't vote, they voted them in too. Because if you didn't vote, you just went with whatever the the majority was.
So I kind of have like a newfound thing on voting. Whether I vote or don't vote, whoever's gonna get in that president's office is just gonna get in. That's just my philosophy behind it. Because I feel like between Trump and Hillary, Trump was probably gonna get in whatever the people done it, whether because he lost the popular vote, but he won the electoral college vote.
Mm.
So it depends on what states win or lost or who they want in. That's who's gonna get in. And honestly, I think he's gonna get reelected again.
Mm.
All the stuff he's doing, because I don't see or hear about anybody else that's better or that's offering anything to the
Mm.
table as of right now.
Well, in a sense, you're right, but also that's the lie you've been sold, man. You gotta dig into your U.S. history and your rights as a citizen. So what happens is we have an electoral college in the United States that depicts the presidency. Um, what they're supposed to do is make a judgment of, they're delegates, electoral. They got 11 of them, and they're supposed to be representing the regions that they're, what would be most beneficial to their regions that they're in charge of. So, um, we see all this. Um, we see all this counter popular vote. What's happening is counter to popular. Like the popular vote says Hillary should have been in office. If you count up all the votes that everybody made across the United States, Hillary had more votes, but Donald Trump got in office. Same thing happened with George Bush. When George Bush got in office, there was more popular votes for who was he running? Al Gore. I think so. Al Gore, first time. Um, and there was more popular votes for Al Gore than George Bush, but he got into office. So what happens is these delegates, again, they didn't get their positions by divine intervention. God didn't put them in these places. They got their positions by making their ranks up through government policy. You vote for your local officials, you vote for your regional officials, you vote for your judges, you vote for your senators. You vote for all of these people to put them in their positions. There's no electoral college to put these people in their position. Those are popular vote positions. But then all of these people determine who gets those delegate positions for each region. So by you not voting for these small votes, these votes that happen every year. There's a vote process every year. If you didn't know that, every November you vote. There's an opportunity for you to vote people in the offices. By you not voting and putting the people who we don't do that. Most young people and most Americans, they only go and vote once every 4 years when it's president time. By you not doing those smaller ones, then you basically are, like I said, voting for the majority of who are voting, the people who are voting, and the people who are voting are people who either are educated, number one, on this matter. They don't have to be educated on a lot of things, but they're educated on this matter, and who are determined to have things go a certain way. And so if you're not determined to have things go a certain way, you're not going to take that effort and go and do your due diligence for, these smaller elections. What's considered smaller elections, but in the grand scheme of things, there are no small elections.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. It's a lie, man. People want you to believe. There's a lot of lies people want you to believe so that they can remain in control.
Oh yeah, that's something I've learned as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
It's a lot of lies as a kid and as a youth that I've been told from about history, like education in general, just a bunch of stuff. When you finally get older, it's like, man, what's this? All right, so what am I supposed to believe that? As some people may go through, I didn't really have to go through that too much, but it was a point. It's just like, okay, so I got a lot to about this, that, history, Santa Claus,
Mm.
Tooth Fairy, who votes the president in.
Yeah.
using certain math equations. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like, all right, I got to lie to you about everything.
I mean, yeah, you gotta take everything that you get and question it, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And I like, we've worked together a lot here recently with your internship and everything. Um, so I like the fact that you ask questions. I always tell you, ask me a question. What's your question? I know you got a million questions. I'm gonna give you time to answer a few of them. So, um, yeah, you gotta ask. You gotta question things that you're given to not in doubt, but to get clarity on the whole truth. Like, don't just take what somebody gives you and call it. I mean, if somebody says a statement is a fact. That brick is red. That's a fact, but that's not the whole truth. That brick is red, brown, it's got thousands of colors in it. But if you don't ask specific, get into the details of a thing, then you know any fact that somebody gives you is what you take is valid. So, and feel ask questions, man. Dig deeper into stuff and find out more about um, what's been sold to you. You know, everything's being sold to you.
Yeah,
Whether it's for a penny or for an idea, it's being sold to you.
because I did used to be the kid that never asked questions. I used to just sit in class and just, all right, I'm here, I'm learning whatever. All right,
Regurgitate. You able to take that information and spit it back out. What was given to you, right?
uh, so as a kid, I didn't really talk much at all.
Okay.
I usually just sit in class and just because I didn't like school. I didn't like school ever. Still don't like school. But I know at least now that I'm there to achieve a plaque that can kind of get me farther.
mm,
But if I went back a couple years, I knew I was gonna be doing this. I wouldn't be at
mm.
the school I'm at right now.
Okay.
I actually go to an actual music school that
Right.
I can actually hone in on these skills instead of just worry about all right, just doing it at home or figuring out myself.
Yeah. No. It's all in the person, man. I feel like the school I went to, there's a lot of people who left that school. Well, the second school I went to, there's a lot of people who left that school and to this day are still working at Walmart. Um, I'm not saying that they're not able to feed their family, they're not able to, um, survive off of that income, but they're, I, I highly doubt that they're happy in where they are. But at the same token, there's people who went to that school who are they have success in the music industry. They have platinum plaques, nominations, awards, all this kind of stuff going on for themselves. Um, I don't know their happiness level, you know, but I can, I would say, I mean, it's up, success is determined by your own self, what goals you set for yourself. But, I would call them successful in getting into the industry that they intended to get into, by going to the school. Um, and, myself, I'm in the middle. I mean, I'm in the business and I was able to get a fair amount of success and things that I wanted to do. So I think it's all in the person, like how determined you are and what you take from the opportunities that you take and how you feel, how important you feel those opportunities are. So yeah, I mean, I don't feel like any one place is gonna give you a better advantage over another place. It's all in the person.
True indeed, but I kind of look at it as that. All right, if I could have went to a music school, I could be a little further as of understanding of how things work and why.
I can get that.
As regards of just all right, I'm here, been in the studio, I've done stuff on my own, I have books now, but if I went to school for like at least just a couple years, just honing in, it's like, all
Mm.
right, I can understand how to do everything. But also on that token, that doesn't mean in the summer you can learn all you need if you're in the right places. So I still kind of agree with you. What you're saying, this depends on the person
Mm-hmm.
because you can go to one of those art schools and do nothing afterwards. Like you said, still working, people still working at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could be like me, go to a university that doesn't really focus on music, but you're taking the classes, you're investing the time and to get the information you
Yeah.
need, and you're actively searching for, all right, where can I go to build on what I already know?
Yeah.
Because as I told you, I looked y'all up on Google,
Right.
and y'all live like just a few minutes from where I stay at, so it's
Okay.
just and all this time. I didn't really get into music until like about a year ago
Okay.
and podcasting or whatever. But now that but as you said, it depends on the person. I was just actively like searching, like, all right, where, when, why, how can I get what I need to go farther?
Cool. Yeah. And you know what else is cool? You ain't done if you ain't dead.
Mm,
Yeah, opportunities are still available as long as you kicking around on this earth.
yeah.
I mean, at least here. I don't know what's happening once you get out of here.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Everybody got an idea, but
So, what is your opinion on being in a relationship and being in the music industry?
um, it can be a gift and a curse. It can be the greatest thing to happen to you, or it can be like a distraction. Um, I think my relationship, um, I got in a relationship super young. I mean, I was still figuring myself out. We were in college, um, and sometimes I wish I would have waited. Get tied down with one person. Then the best decision because I was able to grow with somebody, and we know each other like we think on the same wavelength. Like if I'm thinking something, I already know she's thinking the same thing, or if I can like think about her and she'll call me. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But in the music industry, I mean, I feel it's kind of like any industry. Um, you can let your relationship be a distraction, or you can, if the person is, you know, really, if you and that person are really a good match, then y'all would be pushing for each other to be successful in your aspirations and your goals and your in what you're good at. So I was able to recognize in my wife what her talent was before she was. She didn't realize it was a gift. She just thought it was just something that she could talk about all day. Like, nah, that's like your passion. That's what you should pursue. And so by me being able to see that, I was able to kind of, be the push to help her go in that direction. I always knew what I wanted to do even before I was in a relationship. Um, so whenever I got in a relationship, like nothing changed about me other than I want to spend time with her, a lot. But as far as like me wanting to be in the music industry, that never changed. So it being with the right person, she saw that and she was never like trying to get in the way of that, be a distraction. And anytime that I needed help with it, she would kick in. She, when we started the studio, she basically took over making, doing all the SEO, putting the business up on Google, answering phone calls, making sure that appointments got set, and I was there for the appointments on time, put them on the calendar. You know, it was, and it wasn't like I had to pay somebody to do it. I mean, but I would have paid, but it was for the benefit of us both. It wasn't just for me. You know what I mean? So being with the right person is, it's not just this industry, but any industry you go into. You can't you can't have somebody who's going to detract from what your passion is, because to me that's a selfish person. I feel like, unless you like dealing with drama and selfish people, that's your thing. But that's how I feel about it. There you go.
Yeah, a lot of knowledge just got dropped on y'all people, young, older, in between. Because I feel, well, kind of like well, my generation is kind of like weird because the landscape of the relationship scene is just so kind of off.
Mm-hmm.
At least from my perspective, anyway.
Oh man, y'all got it fucked up now.
See,
Sorry to keep, with the language or whatever, killing your podcast, but yeah, man, y'all, it's tough now, man. Y'all got everything is like, I want it all, I want it now.
yeah, and trying to find a woman that can actually support and actually help, that's like real rare and far and in between. And like you said, your woman helped you.
Mm.
She didn't get in the way. She didn't want to take over. She didn't say, no, you got to spend time with me. You can't do this and that.
Mm.
And like you said, what you what you wanted to do
Yeah.
before you even got in a relationship. So you were already grounded in, all right, this is going to be my career. All right, if I find or don't find, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to let her know that, hey, I'm going to be doing this. If you're okay with that, this is basically how we're going to take this forward.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't going to say there was never times where she was like, I want you to spend time with me. You know what I mean?
Well,
and same way, I'm the other way. I just had a little funkiness this morning. I was like, you was gone all yesterday, and I was thinking about you. You ain't trying to hang out with me this morning. I mean, that's natural. You're always gonna want to spend time with the person that you love and that you appreciate being around. Um, but it's not like it's not like it's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's not to the point where I feel bad by going and doing my thing because I'm not spending time. You know what I mean? I mean, we do a lot of stuff. I mean, we do take out time with each other. We, take vacations, and sometimes we just break out and be like, all right, I'm shutting everything down. We're going, to the beach. You know what I mean? We just gonna spend a day, us and the fam. I mean, that's what that comes from, just you and your own desires. I mean, you're gonna want to do that yourself if you, like I said, if you were the right person.
Yeah, but I know me. I'm not saying I don't want anybody, but I know I'm to myself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not always the emotional type of person. I'm not gonna always express how I feel, even though I do feel it about such person. And I'm really about my work.
Yeah.
And I'm really, because I know how much work I have to do to get where I want to be.
Right.
So I'm gonna be spending a lot of time doing that. And at this point, I really can't take time out of that for somebody else. Obviously, I'm 21. I'm real young, so this kind of makes sense now. But I feel some people that's my age, get caught in this. I need to be in a relationship when they don't know who they are yet, and that just leads to a lot of arguments, disdain, anger, and disappointment because they're putting time into somebody who doesn't believe in them and can't help them to get where they want to be. So they're depressed and mad because of somebody else has that feeling that's breaking them down.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody want to be loved, man. You know, especially when you're young, you gotta a lot of emotions. Like you said, you're still figuring yourself out. You're still trying to find what makes you tick. But you still want to be desired. You still want to be loved. You still want to have somebody to have your back. I mean, that's just natural. But you get to choose what your focus is. So if your focus is being in a relationship with somebody, then that's what you're gonna end up doing. If your focus is focusing on your work, your craft, I mean, that's what you do. Um, yeah, you got time. Like I said, you're still kicking around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you never stuck in anything as long as you still kicking.
Yeah, I'm not stressing about it. Just getting my like observational opinion, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
about the
yeah, yeah. I
situation.
got you. I got you.
But to anyone who is in a relationship, be honest from the get go.
Yeah, man, that's important. I think too, by us getting together young, that was a learned process. um, Being honest, I mean, it's tough to be like completely honest. Like, if you go be like, does this dress make me look fat? And it do, you gotta find a way to say it without saying it. But you still tell her because you don't want her going out. I'm telling women, I don't want you going out beside me looking like shit. I want you to be looking look good when you go out with me. Make me look good. um, but yeah, I mean, being honest is important. Being able to tell what you're how you feel about something or what your desires are important because if you like bottle it up, then at some point it's gonna turn into a thing. Bottling up turns into a monster or an explosion or whatever. At some point, there's gonna be a straw that drops on the camel back and you be like, "Ah, you motherfucker! I hate the way you snore at night." It's gonna strangle you with this damn pillow. But I mean, yeah, man, be honest. That's important.
Again,
I'm just earning the coins today.
yeah. So, can I get a live kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? Review of me being an intern here.
A live review of Dre being an intern.
Yeah,
Um. All right.
an honest one too.
Where do I start? Oh, that was a question.
Oh, I guess kind of from when I walked in, to be honest with you.
All right. So Dre from the beginning. Dre was determined. Um, Dre was so determined it was annoying to the staff. But it's a good thing because the squeaky wheel is the one that gets old. Um, yeah, man, you showed up from the beginning. Um, you seemed eager, like you weren't aggressively eager, like, hey man, you gotta put me on, hey man, but you made yourself present as much as you could, and that basically kept my attention. They got my attention from the start, and by continuing to show up, kept my attention. And then you hit me with, hey man, my school got the internship thing. Excuse me. Where I get credits and all that, and I was willing to do it at that point because I knew you were not just bullshitting around trying to use me for your school credits. You were intent on being a productive member of the team, as along with learning the business. And my whole thing is making sure that I'm able to help other people be successful because, quote from Steve Harvey, this ain't mine. The more people that I can help be successful, the more successful I am. So you took advantage of that, which is a good thing. So you were able to, once you did get in the door, you presented from the beginning um, what you were capable of doing, and what you aspired to do. So we were able to hone that into, all right, we can use what you're good at or what you're already capable of doing as basically a trade-off for learning more stuff. So while you were taking over some of the podcast material and making sure everything got distributed and put out right, you were able to learn Pro Tools, and learn how to deal with clients. Clients coming in and how you supposed to treat them and all that good stuff. So, as a review for you and all, I will call you a diligent, resourceful person. You don't hesitate. Well, you do hesitate to ask questions. You're smart, and I like that because a lot of people ask a lot of questions at the wrong times. You wait, you absorb everything what's happening, and then if your question didn't get answered, you'll ask the question at the end, which is perfect because if I'm in the middle of something and you're asking me questions and it's getting in the way of what I'm doing, throwing me off track with my thought process, then that's distracting. It's get you the hell out of the way so I can finish what I got to do. So you were smart with that in that sense. So diligent, resourceful. You got good timing, and you're able to utilize the information that you receive in a productive manner. So there's my review of Dre as an intern. That's a clap for yourself, man. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
But but it's good to know at least how your boss thinks of you.
Okay.
Because you may be doing a good job, but if you don't know, then you don't know what you need to improve on or what you've done so far to get you to the next spot or next place in your career. So appreciate that.
Yeah. So if I would say something for you to need improvement on, what would it be? Give me a minute to think on that, and we'll come back to it later.
All right. But as regards to anybody else trying to learn something or do something with themselves, you just gotta really just put your head down, man. Cause that's exactly what I did from the start of the summer. Even though I was doing summer school classes, I still was in here a little bit at the start anyway. I just put my head down. It's like, all right, this is where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be doing no worry about nothing else. After this class is over, I really can just hone in on being at the studio, learning what I need to know, just doing this, doing that, and just really trying to hone in and improve and put that onto my own stuff that I do at the house and just make that to the betterment of my music or other people's music in the future. Because as I always say to me and my peoples, it's not about just me. I have other people like my family and my group of friends that I mess with. They do the podcast. So it's not just about me getting the success and the wherewithal and the wealth. It's about all of us being able to get such.
Yeah. And that's leadership qualities, man. When you're thinking about more than just yourself. Yeah. It's a lot of times people are real. I mean, I won't say selfish. I just think it's, they're not a leader. They're just more of a doer. And so when they're doing and acting and doing whatever, it's for the betterment of themselves, but they don't have other people in mind when they're doing it. So some people might get stepped on, some people might get pushed aside, some people might just be generally forgotten about or not even like acknowledged for the help that they've given that person to get to where they get. But a leader is always, like you said, they got your family on your mind. You got the people who are working with you and working for you on your mind. The community itself on your mind. Like you wouldn't do anything without those people in mind to try to advance yourself and end up degrading one of those entities or any of the other entities that you have. Those are leadership qualities, and that's what puts you in whole different types of positions and in the music industry. And a lot of people like look at the music industry as super glorified, like whole set aside thing from the rest of the world. Entertainment is like just this immaculate. The entertainment world is the exact same shit as corporate America, as retail. It's the same principles. It just applies. Music and video is the product. How can we sell these products? And it's um, marketing goes into it the same way marketing a software company goes into it. And marketing goes into, I need to know which regions are more susceptible to this type of track so that I can push more music or push more marketing, push more concerts, push more things into this area that's going to sell more of that product. Same thing with selling headphones or anything. So music industry is an industry, but having those leadership qualities, man, it's that'll make you successful pretty much in any industry. But it puts you in a whole different type of position, like rather than just being a worker or artist who just has a deal or has a company, a label supporting them. That artist, that the different position is, or the producer or whatever, different position is, you are in partnership with a label, eventually ending up creating your own entity based off of your qualities. So, and then you have all these people and things in mind, and these people come along with you and they end up being successful or whatever because of your success. Yeah, so leadership skills is what you got, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. But like I said, as I always say about artists anyway, if except exclusion for a few, if you see people that just like rap or just sing or whatever, most likely they're broke. Most likely, because from my point of view anyway, if they have deals and contracts, as I've heard and I think as you know that these contracts are basically just business loans. They're not really all these artists that they're making. If they're making a lot of money, it's not theirs. They're just paying back what they've been given.
Again, true and false at the same time.
All right, explain that to me. Then.
All right. So this book you got sitting in front of you, all you need to know about the music business by Donald Passman. That book is the more you dive into it, the more you'll understand about all you need to know about the music business. Plain and simple. But setting up your business right from the beginning. You hear that same, that's a lie, man. You hear that same lie you've been told, everybody gets screwed on their first deal. You know what I mean? Like in their first contract, everybody gets screwed. You might as well be prepared to do that. That's kind of like an entry point of the music industry. That's bullshit, man. If you know your business, you don't have to get screwed in any capacity because you're clear about what you're expecting and you're clear about what your capabilities are. Take, for instance, pretty much any artist who started an independent label and went major. The artist built up their platform first. They built up, their following. And I love using the baby as an example because the baby did everything right, and that was the only way that he was gonna get. That's the only way anybody from this region was gonna get to that position where he's at right now. Built up following from the beginning. He realized celebrity is what's important. Build up a following, build a label. The label was independent. They moved the units to the point where they knew in order for us to move more units, in order for us to get to where we need to be, we can keep doing it the way we're doing it, but we're going to plateau out. Or we can keep on an upward trend by taking on a larger entity who's got access to other avenues of, distribution, marketing. They've got a team of people. That's all they do is market. All they do is distribution. All they do, so it was like you get to a point where you build your business up to where you know what the value of your business is, and you're not just going to sign on a paper just because somebody's holding a bag of money in front of your face. Because if that bag of money ain't the right bag of money, then that bag of money is just worthless, because it'll go out the window. And I heard Beanie Siegel say he spent $1 million in a month when he got his deal, and he needed two. So, it's knowing, building up an entity from the start and knowing the value of that entity is important. Because once you do that, then you'll know whether you even need that other company. Because if you don't need that other company, you can keep going on the route you're going and continue on the uptick. What's the point of doing business with them? Just for the name? Does nothing if it's not going to give you, any more uptick. So knowing your business, like knowing, okay, these are the steps that I need to take in order to collect this money. Royalties, like shows, who needs to be paid. A lot of artists, they're not business savvy. They just make the creative minds. And that's completely understandable. But another thing you learn in that book too is putting the right team around you, not just putting people in place that talk a lot or that might have connections and things, but putting people in place that are valuable to their position, but also people who you can trust. But you never can trust anybody in this industry, and I'll tell you in there, to have checks and balances, have a system of checks and balances, so that this person is watching this person, that same person is watching another person, this person is watching that person, and you create a circle of checks and balances. That's how the government works. You got the 3 systems of checks and balances. So if you have everything built properly, then honestly, you don't even have to be famous to be making money.
Oh yeah, that's a clear misconception.
Yeah.
You got to be on to make bread. Yeah. No, you don't.
No, you don't. One of the most successful artists has 0 radio spins, but they have a following. Well, it had 0 up until a certain point. But they had a following, they had a business, they had all the marketing together, they had everything. They were independent, so every coin that they were getting in wasn't being split to another entity that basically, like you said, gave them a loan, which is not a loan. You'll learn again. There's a lot of information in that book. It's not a loan. It's an advance. So, advance and loans are completely separate things. Advance, when it's paid back, okay, an advance is an amount of money given to you on the expectation of amount of money coming back. But what happens with an advance is you have to pay back the advance, plus you have to pay a percentage of everything that comes in. So once you pay back that advance, that's just the beginning. It's kind of crazy because, like, the money you brought in that you made to pay back that advance, once you pay that back, you got to take that amount of money into account on what came in as well. So, like, let's say you got, just an example, $50,000 advance, and you made $100,000. You paid that first $50,000 back, but you got to pay 30%, whatever on $100,000. That's still $30,000. So basically, you paid back $80,000 and you made $100,000. You just made $20,000. The company just made 80. that makes sense right there.
Yeah.
That's an advance. A loan, once you pay back a loan, you're done with the loan. So a lot of independents got smart. They said, why the hell am I gonna go and get a deal for an advance from this major label who got money when I can just go to Wells Fargo and get $100,000 loan? I pay back the interest and I'm done with the loan forever. So, it's like 30% interest. All right. I got $100,000. I make $200,000. I pay back $130,000. I got $70,000. But hold on, there's more money coming in after that. Cause you never stop. I mean, if you make yourself popular and famous, you never stop selling those records. You never stop selling that merch or whatever. You still get those royalties. So you made that, $200,000 within those amount of years that you pay back that loan. Loan is done, but you're still making money off of that product that you built with that money. So that's a lot of information. Your brain probably like about to explode just off of that one explanation, but yeah, that's why majors are dying and independents are becoming a just the way the industry works now.
The thing is, through my eyes anyway, I don't think anybody wants to really work for anybody. Not even talking about just the music, talking about in general. Because the people that get mad that they have to go to this job and say, oh man, I'm going to go to this job. Because some people just don't know or haven't figured out what they really want to do. But I feel everybody wants to be able to start and do something on their own, but everybody isn't able to do such just because their brain or how they're wired just won't let them do that. Some people are fine working for somebody, but I feel like other people that may just talk about, man, this job sucks, or this is some bull. I feel like they want to do it, but they're not mentally and physically capable to do it because that's just how they weren't really made. That's just kind of like my opinion on that.
Yeah, no, everybody's got their things that they're good at. Let's call you passion. I mean, and honestly, sometimes people's passions change. They feel like this is something that they're going to be good and successful and be happy doing, and they get into it, and they realize it wasn't what they were expecting, and it may give them more idea on, okay, I still like this part of it if I could do it without this part. So you might change careers just off of that one concept, And as long as you're kicking around, you can still do that.
Yeah. Well, I believe some people have different types of priorities, so they may, even though they want to, they may not be able to do that at that time. But like you said, as long as you're still kicking and everything is taken care of that was holding you back before, you can still go do that.
Yeah.
You may be a little older, you may be a little out of the education system or whatever you may be, but you can, if you really want to do that, you can still do it.
Yeah. Yeah, fear makes people not do stuff. That's all it is. You're saying they're not able to. It's because they're afraid of failure, which is understandable. I mean, nobody wants to be homeless. nobody wants to try to figure out, how their kids gonna eat today. So fear makes people not want to change their current state because the fear is that they're not going to be successful enough to maintain what they are, the current trend they're on, or even survive the next trend, the next, next path.
And also them listening to other people.
Oh yeah, man, people. Fuck people.
Because if I was
man, now, yeah, people. I'm trying to get better at this. Don't tell nobody about nothing until after you already did
Oh yeah,
it.
yeah.
um,
Oh man.
because number one, eh, most people, give their opinions out of good intentions, which it's just what people do. Some people, they might be telling you stuff just to, bring you down because they're frenemies or whatever. You usually ain't gonna tell the person that is anti you, what you're trying to do with your life. Um, but unless you're Cardi B. But even still, like, unless you're strong willed and you're gonna do what you're gonna do, no matter what anybody say, and try, make make a habit of being like, get advice from people who are successful at what you want to do, um, because they've already done it. They can tell you, oh yeah, I've screwed up here. That wasn't a good idea, or you know, they, I tell people always tell me, hey man, I want to be in the music. I'm like, don't. And it's kind of a thing, with me saying that is more like, all right, if you really want to be in the music industry, no matter what I'm gonna tell you, I say don't, but I really don't mean don't. If it's your dream, like follow your dream, but I say don't because there's a lot of opposition. And there's a lot of people trying, a lot of things that would push you out of it, or if you don't have thick skin, you would not be able to make it. Um, and you get thrown on a bus sometimes. Um, but yeah, man, don't listen. Don't tell people nothing. People get in the way.
Yeah, because like going back to what you said, if you don't know who you are and you're trying to go to the music industry to find out who you are, you're gonna be let down real quick.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people gonna tell you a lot of different things. You suck. You're good. You can improve.
Mm.
You should never touch a microphone or a board ever again.
Yeah.
In reality, you just got to keep practicing.
Oh yeah.
Everybody at one point sucks.
Yeah. And people that are good, people still tell them they suck. It's just haters. That's the word for them. It's just haters, man. There's a lot of people who wish they were bold enough to, you know, conquer their fears, and by you stepping into something they wish they were capable of doing, they want to try to do everything they can to, did not. I guess it's they in their they downgrading you in order to make themselves feel better. Like you can't do more than I can do. I can do that if I wanted to, but you ain't. So yeah, yeah. I feel like you're not doing anything if you don't got haters. If you're not, if you're doing something and you're doing it right, you're gonna have haters. So keep doing it. The more haters you got, the better you are.
But yeah, going back to what you're saying about don't tell people anything until you've done it. Like I said, when I told my parents what I changed my kind of career path over to,
Mm-hmm.
they was confused. Actually, my whole family was confused.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, you're doing what? Your major communications.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you trying to do? I said I'm trying to do, like I said, graphic design, video, audio, editing, music. He's like, so where are you trying to? What job is enabled to do that? Well, I'm trying to go in business for myself. So they're like, okay, I still don't like understand. Like my mom literally said that to me like 3 times
Yeah.
before I broke it down, and until I started doing it and I kind of could show her a little bit of what I've been doing, she was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Unless your parents grew up in an entrepreneurial environment, it's kind of hard to convince, people that, hey, I want to start a business, from the beginning. Like, you're a young person, you want to start a business. And they never saw that. I had a little bit of that, but my dad, he was sort of an entrepreneur at the
Yeah,
time.
mine too. Yeah.
He he was a contractor, and basically contractors are they're working for a company, but they're responsible for everything that they do. Um, and that's basically what owning your own business is. You don't have to. Well, owning your own business is that plus, like, you have to go and build your customer base. Like, your customer base isn't built in. Somebody's not already doing this stuff for you. Um, you're basically, responsible for everything, including generating the generating the clientele, generating the money, finding where is the money, how do I go get it, how do I make it stay. um, so it's again that's kind of like fear of the unknown in that sense, and parents and um, you know family members, they want the best, and they want the best for want you to do well for yourself. So, like, getting a job seems more secure than starting a business to most people, because they feel like it's somebody else's responsibility to you know bring in the money. All I gotta do is do my thing, and the money's gonna hit my bank account every time. Um, I found out when I was 16 that wasn't true. Um, I was working. Me and my brother, we were working at a restaurant. 16, we was we was like, we got to get it now. I was always like, I gotta be able to do stuff for myself. So as soon as I was able to get a worker's permit, 15 years old, I was out there working. And we tried to stay away from streets as much as we could. So we did the restaurant thing. Um, we were both working for the same company, but they had two separate restaurants, so we were in two separate locations. But um, the owner of the restaurant, he had some issues. The business was booming, restaurants was always full, but he had some issues, financial or whatever. And one day the checks, we went to cash the checks, and it was like, I'm sorry, sir, there's no money in this account to cash this check. So, and that was like, a reality check as a young person. Like, a job isn't a guaranteed income. You know, a lot of people look at it as that, like, I got a job, I'm gonna be all right, I got income, but shit can go sour on any level. No, mean, it don't even matter how big the company is, because to us, this was a more secure. This dude had 3 restaurants, and they were always busy. Like, money was coming in, but someone happening right on the back end, and you see it. You see it with major corporations. They just fold up, and people are out of work, because something else was going on. Somebody was um, committing some fraud or something. So a job is not secure. And so I've always felt as a kid. I mean, even back then, I was an entrepreneur. I was like selling candy in school, whatever. I mean, did a little bit in the streets, but it was more so that I've always felt like nobody is gonna secure my future more than myself. Um, so I would work. I had jobs where I worked for companies, but it was always a thing where, like, I sold cars. Like, I had to generate my own clientele. I wasn't sitting on the lot waiting for people to come in and I sell them a car. I was going out to places, restaurants, school, whatever, finding people. Hey man, I like your car. What you what you want to buy next? What you think your next car gonna be? Or how much if I could buy that car from you right now, how much would you sell it to me for? You know, stuff like that to kind of get people's interest in what I was doing to to generate an income for myself. So yeah, I feel like, that was always my thing. Like nobody's gonna go and get it for you, You gotta go get it. So um yeah, yeah. It's hard to explain to people who have never seen that or never experienced that on a regular basis that this is a thing. This is what I want to do. Um, and you just got to do it, and everybody's all proud of you now. But sometimes it's hard to convince people, so you might as well just don't even waste that energy and talk to people who've done what you're trying to do and find out how to find out what they did successful and what they did that wasn't successful, so you can be more efficient about your own thing. So mentorship is kind of what they call it, I guess.
And on that same token, the people that may not help you, that are close to you or that look at you, there are also people that will help you.
Yeah.
And just keep those people in mind. Try to keep contact with them as best as you can.
Yeah.
If you can get an in-house or a family to loan you some money for
Yeah.
your business,
Yeah.
please do it.
Yeah.
If you need it anyway.
Yeah,
But
if you need.
if you, like I said, instead of having to go to the bank, just it's like, hey, I need such and such money. Can you loan it to me and I'll pay you back with such and such? But in order for these people to actually give you the money, you have to have a plan, though.
Yeah, and don't approach your family members without no plan either. I feel like if you if you're gonna do something, like if I would treat this entity, a bank, this way, why should I treat somebody who's close to me differently? Like expecting them to be more lenient, and I expect them to be more lenient with me, but I'm not gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna propose it to them in the same sense I would to a financial institution, because not only will they take you serious, they'll be more willing to, they already want to support you, but they'd be more willing to hand you over something in security in their mind that, okay, they have a plan. I know I'm going to get my money back, or at least they're going to try real freaking hard to give me my money back. With this plan in mind, they thought about it. And, if somebody, one of my family members was to come to me like that, I would feel more respected in that sense. And I'm all about respect, man. I get pride on giving respect to people so that you get respect in return. So yeah, man, just it's good. It's a good feeling whether you're paying back a bank or you're paying back a family member when you hand over that money. Like, hey, here's the money. Family is helpful because a lot of times they don't like charge you interest. But it's even better when you can be like, here's the money back and here's a little extra on top. Thank you for believing in what I'm doing. And, presenting it to them the right way from the start, is a respectful thing to do, I feel like.
Because I already know who I may have to go to, because he already called me. He called me about around like September last year, something like that, or maybe at the beginning of this year. Say, yo, what are you trying to do in the future? I explained to him, I'm trying to have a multimedia compound, music, gaming, graphic design, videography, such and such. Have the team of people around me, and just keep building off that. And he was like, You need some money for that? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work a job and whatever. He said, yo, are you gonna need a loan? I was like, maybe from like a loan. I was like, huh? someone like you, maybe someone like me. I was like, oh, okay. He didn't directly say, he didn't directly say,
Yeah,
hey, ask
yeah,
me, but he kind of gave the invitations like, all right,
right.
if you need it,
That's
come
good.
ask. And
That's
you actually have a plan. So I'm impressed with that also.
yeah,
So that's,
yeah, yeah, and that's good. You know that you have somebody who is willing to do that because um it's helpful to have. It makes you feel good that it makes you feel more like driven by somebody believing in you to want to support you and give you something to help you get started. Yeah, that's good. That's what's up.
like I said, I didn't talk much when I was little. I was just around, just there,
Yeah,
just either listening or just
yeah,
trying to do my own thing, or whatever. So now that I'm actually doing stuff that's kind of productive, they're just like, oh, all right. It's kind of like how people see or know that you have potential, but they don't really know what you like to do in full. They don't know
mm-hmm.
what kind of plan you have, so they're just like kind of waiting.
Yeah,
At least from my mind, anyway. Like, all right, what's he gonna do when he gets older?
yeah, and having that plan, having a like not just the idea, but an actual written out, you know, I don't want to say scripted plan of action and how this is gonna, what returns am I expecting? How are those returns gonna be generated? Having, that written out helps with, like you said, if you are telling, family members or people that you want to have their support. If you are telling these people, about what you're doing, having that gives them more. Okay, it gives them more of a visual. Some people, the people who really kind of naysay, what you're trying to do, usually lack vision. So being able to kind of, all right, I understand. I understand you might not get this, but I'm gonna show you. Here's what I got. This is what I'm gonna do. Here's how that works. Here's how I'm gonna make money from it, and here's how much money I'm expecting to make from it. Having that all like playing out scripted, and here's examples of why I believe that this money is capable of being made because of this. Having that kind of helps deal with those people if you choose to deal with those people.
Yeah. Cause like sitting here right now, I'm kind of mapping out the official plan when I get out of college around this time next year. Cause this is my last year. I'm about to be done.
Yeah.
I kind of know.
Get it out of your head too, man.
Yeah.
Like I know we have a lot of plans in our head, but write them down. Write it down. Put it in visual form. Put it in like use that energy on. Put it on paper. Write it down and fucking sign it and call it a contract with yourself because that way you're like in it. You know what I mean? Like
It's kind of like official in a sense.
Yeah, it's official. It's like blueprints to a house. Like I can know how to build a house, but until I create blueprints for it, how am I gonna know? What angles and how long this board needs to be to, match with that board. But yeah, it's like a blueprint to your success path.
Yeah.
My blueprint to my success path was killing ants right now.
So if anybody's wondering why we've been kind of like pointing down at
we got like there was some candy that was left open in there like invading right now. Yeah, gonna have to call some people.
Yeah. So, what is kind of your advice for anyone, young, older, in between, who's looking for the answer of, all right, I'm getting out of school or I'm leaving a job. What's kind of the best thing that they could start doing to achieve their passion or their goal to the next step in their life?
Don't do it. Nah. What's something? Do it, man. Get started. Like, don't dread what you gotta do. Just find out what you gotta do. Find out, like I said, find out what the plan is. Start like I said, write it down. Make it a thing. official and start making them steps. Because if it's the right thing, I found if it's what you're supposed to be doing, there's gonna be some opposition. There's gonna be some thresholds that you gotta accomplish, like things that you gotta supersede. And it might be tough sometimes, but stuff falls in place a lot of times. Like you be like, holy smokes, how did that happen? I didn't even expect that. When you're going in the right direction, stuff's just like, oh, okay. Thank you, person who just wants to come and help me do this, or thank you, person that just decided you wanted to sponsor my thing, or uh, you don't expect things that you expect to trek that path, but then unexpected advancements always come, like when you head in the right direction. And that's just a matter of focusing your energy towards where you want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a kind of living testament to that statement because, like I said, this book, like this, getting these books and this book, if it wasn't for Derek, I wouldn't know
Yeah.
that about these books.
Yeah.
Like I said, you told me but as you said before, you don't know everything. So that's kind of one of the reasons you kind of bought Derek into the fold.
Yeah.
Because he has some other information that you kind of just don't have.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna be omnipresent. It's good to have like a baseline in a lot of the things that control what you're doing. Like I said, like knowing about, for instance, music, knowing about publishing, like knowing, okay, this is what publishing is. This is the general definition of what publishing is. These are like the people who are important in publishing. Now, I don't have to know all the legalities and how to write a contract and everything, and even how to read a contract. If I know I got a lawyer who's a publishing expert, I can hire him. And I got a publishing administrator, I can hire them, and I can know the baseline of, all right, these are the things that I need to put in place. And then, have my checks and balances. All right, lawyer, you check on this administrator, or, manager, you check on this lawyer, things like that. Nobody's going to be omnipresent, know it all, and if you are, then you got too much fucking knowledge to go and do the work. You're too busy trying to learn everything to go. I see that all the time. People who want to know everything, but they're not creating nothing worth selling because they too busy trying to know too much. Yeah, having a baseline in what controls what you're trying to do, and then like focusing your energy towards, this is what where I'm going. Those people come in place, and just let them be their thing. Like the experts are going to be the experts. You be an expert in your thing. Let them be an expert in their thing, and create a team. Let that team be successful.
So, because as I said, time and time again, I'm kind of like back then selfish or whatnot. Think I can do it on myself, but team, TEAM, team.
Yeah.
You're gonna always need one, especially trying to do your own thing, be independent. You're gonna always need a team because you cannot do everything, and if you are, you're losing money.
Yeah. There's no one person behind anything. Yeah.
Well, any last words you have for the people out there in the world?
Buy my album. Go check out Suprbadd on Spotify, Instagram, iTunes. Go and check out Incredible Super Great Podcast on I don't know where we at, YouTube, Facebook. Coming soon to it's not even iTunes anymore. It's Apple Music, right?
It's Apple Pie. Yeah, I think it's Apple something like that.
Yeah. So go and check out all of those. Last thing to remember, just write it down and go do it.
Yeah. And This is the end of the DZN podcast. You can follow us at d.z.n.podcast on Instagram, DZN Podcast on Twitter, DZN Podcast on Facebook, and like, comment, subscribe to us on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever else we are. Go follow us, like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, all of that. And you can follow me on Instagram at RETROD.R.E. Retro Dre underscore on Twitter, Retro Dre on Facebook, and you can follow the homie Zoe at young underscore Pluto 08 on Instagram, and Nas at NV.Z underscore. And I would like to thank you all once again for viewing. Thank Mike for letting me intern here, sit here, do the podcast, and everything else he's offered to me, and the whole AMI staff. And oh yeah, if you want to record something and make it and know it sounds great, fire, come to AMI Studios.
Yep. Look up Artist Mill. It's Artist Mill, ARTISTMILL Studios on Instagram. And myself, my Instagram is weird. It's just the way I spell my artist name. It's SUPRBADD, Suprbadd, just like Toys R Us, Suprbadd.
All right. And outro with the music. Here we go. Special guest Mike on a bars from me, and you tell this from we especially give you all the sounds we need to, cause you need to sound nice, to sound fire, everything you need to get higher, and your place of being or on the music tip, and to tell you right now, cause you know this is the DZN Podcast, outro on your ass. Podcast, outro for your ass at AMI Studios, at AMI Studios, at AMI Studios. Get what you need on the real though. DZN Podcast, outro for your ass. It's the DZN Podcast, outro for your ass. DZN Podcast, outro for your ass. DZN Podcast, outro for your ass. Yeah. Appreciate y'all. And we are out. Peace.